Hi, I'm Jessica Levy with My Fit Life Now, and I love mobility work. As I've aged, I've had a lot of hip and neck issues, and I find that mobility just helps me to move more freely through my day. And I hope you enjoy this video as much as I am going to enjoy making it for you. I want you to focus on your breath. You don't need to warm up before this, and just allow yourself to let go. Just be free of any thoughts and try and be free of your attention. All right, we're going to get started. I want you guys to get started with some deep belly breaths. So just allow your hands to come to the belly, close your eyes, and take a big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and continue to breathe like that, but bring that breath down deeper each time you inhale. Feeling expansion come through that belly. And now move the hands to the side. I want you to breathe into the hands. So feeling expansion through the lower part of the rib cage. As you breathe in, a rib cage expands. And then as you breathe out, it goes back to where it naturally falls. Still breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more breath like this. And then breathing with one hand in the front and one hand on the back, and try and breathe into the hands again. That expansion front and back. So we're just getting our diaphragm warmed up, getting that breath into our body. One more breath like this. Perfect. Let's allow those arms to come to our side. Big inhale, let those arms come up. And then exhale, one arm comes down and then the other arm reaches. Now, if your flexibility doesn't allow, you can keep up onto that hand, but if your flexibility allows you to drop onto that elbow, then bring yourself down and then back up. Same thing on the other side. So as we flow from side to side, and we wake up the lateral flexion in our spine, and our ribs are open to the ceiling and sky, you're going to feel that length, okay? Exhale as you reach. Inhale as we lift. I want you to try and get deeper each time that you flow through any of the movements today. See how far your body is going to allow you to go. What are you capable of? How much can you improve your range as we flow from side to side? One more time on each side. Almost feel like I'm touching the mat now as I finish. So close. And then back up. Let's add in a little bit of rotation. Side to side. Our gaze is following our shoulder. So we're getting some rotation in our neck. All the way from one to the next. Our arm just gives a little push on that leg as we go from side to side. Good. One more on each side. Perfect. We're going to allow those legs to come out along in front of us. Sitting up really straight. Take a big breath in. And slide down. Rest. And roll yourself back up. And repeat. Big reach. And bend. So we're getting flexion now into our backs, while stretching in through our hamstrings. And for a lot of you, I know your hamstrings are tight. Just notice how close your belly and your forehead is to those legs. Notice where your hands can reach to. Maybe they're only coming to your shin and your goal is to work towards your ankles. So just being aware of your own space and what your body is capable of doing and progressing within each time we drop down. Good. Rolling it up, hands in behind. Let the legs come up so our feet are flat, and we're just going to tilt side to side. I find anytime I do mobility work, the time just flies by, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that was already X amount of minutes. Yet when I'm doing a cardio workout, I'm like watching the time. I'm like, oh my goodness, why is this taking so long? So my brain is in like two completely different places. All right, let's go 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to change positions now. So I'm going to come onto the hands and knees. We're going to work into the hips here. So I want you to take one foot up. Now, if this is hard on your knee, you can double up your mat or whatever it is that you're on, or put a pillow underneath the knee. And then I just want to make sure that your knee is as far back as it can go. Because if you're here, you're not going to stretch that hip flexor. Okay, so we want to make sure that knee is back. What we don't want to do is take that foot out, because now my knee is over top of space. We want my knee to be right over top of that ankle. Now, if you're not getting enough stretch here, we're going to move down a little bit. So I want you to actually move into this. So create a little bit of a rocking motion here, working into that hip. And then let's walk those hands back. That leg stays straight and where it is. And then we're going to drop our chest down. We're going to feel the backside of that leg work. Okay, flowing back and forth. Forward. I'm creating some movement. I'm allowing that body to get down, opening up through that hip. And then taking it back and stretching it through the back of the leg. I feel like these two areas for most people are so tight, because these are the two areas that are contracting for most of the day, because most of the time we're sitting. So they're rarely in their lengthened state, hence why they're always so tight. Breathing through, working into it. Let's see if we can get an elbow down, getting a little bit deeper, opening up, and then back. Beautiful. One more time. Forward, getting low, and then coming back. All right, so we're going to continue to work into that one hip. So what we're going to do now is come up all the way. So my hip right now is right over that knee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pelvis, which should be in its natural position, and I'm going to tuck it. Okay, so I'm squeezing my butt cheek here, and I've just shifted it under. Okay, so now that I've done that, I've got more length in this other hip flexor. So I'm going to take that arm up on the leg that's down. Okay, from here, I'm going to exhale. I'm going to come into lateral flexion, and then I'm going to inhale. I'm going to return to center. And that's just going to help lengthen that a little bit more. Here we go. Exhale, reach. Inhale, up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, up. I love working into those hips. I actually have really tight abs, so that's not a good thing, by the way. This is giving them a good stretch too. So if you have tight abs, you're going to really feel this up into the core as well. It's wonderful. Reach, exhale, inhale back. One more time. Exhale and reach, and inhale back. Okay, let's switch. So again, getting into position, we want to make sure that we've got that space, that knee is back, my knee is over top of my ankle, and then I'm just going to start to wiggle and create some movement. Now my right hip is way tighter than my left, so I doubt I'll be able to get down onto my elbow. Okay, so from here, let's start to walk back, toes coming up. Now the reason that we bring our toe up instead of letting it stay down on the floor is that pulls into our calf muscle and gives us length in through the calf. Okay, so we're just going to continue to flow back and forth here. See where you can get to. You don't have to follow my pace. If you want to go slower, you're more than welcome to. If you feel like you need to stay, if you're like, oh, I'm just getting into that stretch now, I don't want to leave it yet, feel free to stay. Mobility work is to open up those spaces and make them more mobile, increasing their range. So your tight and sticky spots are going to be different than mine. So when I'm wanting to move into another one, you may be wanting to stay, and that's totally okay. Good. One more time forward. see how much lower you are now than when you started this 45 seconds ago? Okay, so coming back upright, again we're stacked, so hip right over that knee. So now we got to tuck that pelvis, right? So going from neutral, tucking it under. So now I'm squeezing into this butt cheek. The more I squeeze and tuck, the more length I get on this side. From here, that arm goes up into the air, and now I start my breath work. I exhale, I reach. Oh, this feels so good. Inhale to center. Exhale to reach. So this is my bad hip, so this is like, feels like perfection for me. Just loving this stretch. I tend to sleep in the fetal position with a pillow in between my knees, so even when I'm sleeping, my hips are flexed. And then with being in quarantine and self-isolation, I've been sitting way more with virtual clients on my computer, helping train them rather than standing and training my clients. So definitely feeling this tightness. Okay, I want you to come onto the hands and knees. So we're going to work into rotation of the spine next, and really pay attention to where your fingers are pointing. So we're going to go one side at a time. So what I want you to do is take the hands right underneath the shoulders, and the knees are underneath your hips. From here, open up. Okay, you can slide and move your hips around a little bit, but open up. See where your arm is pointing to. Maybe it's like 45 degrees, or maybe you can get it all the way up. But just, I couldn't do this morning. Mobility has really worked with me today. Just notice where your hand's going, okay? Now what I want you to do is take it through and reach, and then drop down onto your shoulder and go as far as you can this way. Okay? Now you're feeling stretching through the back of the shoulder, and then bring it back up. And reach, and see how much further you can get. Okay, we're going to keep repeating this process. Let's see if we can get just a little further each time. Isn't this amazing? I love doing this with my clients, and they're like, wow, I can't believe how much further I can go after doing this just a couple times. Love it. Okay, last one here. Reach, 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 reach. Beautiful. Hand to the floor. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's start with a little bit of a hold. Hold. See where you are here with your range. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold the breath. Okay, let's start feeding that arm through. Down. Dropping onto that shoulder. My hips are staying up the whole time, so I'm not sitting back into my feet. Okay, and then back up. Open. A little bit further. We want to make sure that we do our mobility slow. There's no fast movements here because our muscles need time to lengthen. So if you're doing something fast, then you're probably contracting the muscle. And if you're contracting the muscle, then you're definitely not working into mobility. You're going to be getting maybe some strength out of it instead, or maybe even burning calories. So make sure you go slow and controlled. Oh, yes, love this. Okay, last reach. Let's see how far you've got. Good. And then back down. Awesome. All right, let's give those wrists just a little bit of a break here. So sit back into the legs and just roll them around for a moment. Okay, so I want to work a little bit into some flexion and extension of the spine. So these are yoga moves, but I'm going to use them anyways. I'm just not going to name what the yoga moves are, but what we're going to do is we're going to open up those knees. I'm just going to take them back, and then we're going to sit back into our heels while reaching those arms out. Okay, so you should feel some stretch here. If the arms are just resting down casually, you're not going to feel the same stretch. So I want you to take those fingertips and take them as far as you can so you can feel that pull. Okay, from here we're going to lift our bodies up, and we're going to come down, drop that pelvis, and then drop the shoulders. Okay, big opening stretch. Now if that's too much, you can come down into a more gentle stretch, but I want you to think about lifting up through the chest while pressing the pelvis down. Okay, to open up the belly and the hips. Okay, here we're opening up the lats, a little bit in the glutes and low back. Again, you can flow at your own pace, but it's a hip drop here. Now, because I'm so tight in my hips and my belly, this feels amazing for me. I have pretty good back extension, so again, if that's too much, please drop down to where it feels comfortable for your body. So as we age, our bodies become tighter. I am working with a lady who is 78 years old, and I'm so thankful that I get to work with her because I can really see the difference in our bodies as we get older and how important it is to take care of your health throughout all of your years. The better you can move, the better you're going to be able to move. Good. Okay, so now we're going to change positions again. So let's bring ourselves onto our backs. I'm just going to move my feet, scooch to the other end of my mat. Okay, I'm going to lie down on my back. And then from here, I'm going to cross one foot and then open that knee. Okay, if you have really tight hips, it might not want to open. So try and open that knee as much as you can. All right, so from here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring up that knee. Pull, 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 and then let it go. All right, pull, 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 pull. So again, this is my tight hip, so I'm really feeling this side. Some of you guys might have really good flexibility. Now, if this is really difficult for you and your flexibility is difficult with this one, you can just do little lifts and slide your foot, okay? Or you can take your hands to the top of the other leg in the shin, okay? Just don't pull on the knees. All right, this one I'm going to hold for a little bit longer now, so let's pull it in. Good, I'm doing little pulls and releases. If you look closely here, got a little bit more pressure, and then I let it go. A little bit more pressure, and then I let it go. Oh my goodness, the sun is shining now. Feels so great. Good. Just keep working into that hip. Last one. And release. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So foot's crossing, knee is open, and we start. So again, if you're super tight, just feel like you can do a heel slide. But remember, your hands can go here to help pull that leg in. The other option too is if you had a towel, you can always put a towel behind the back of your leg and then use that to pull in and out. This is a great routine to do in the morning to help wake up the body and just get you mobile for your day. I have noticed that as I've gotten older, let's hold that leg in now, little pulls. That I am stiff in the morning, and mobility work is so good, or I have a hot tub. Especially in the wintertime if I'm cold, I definitely have a hot tub, and I find that really loosens up my muscles too. Good, a couple more. And hold, pull it in, and release, let go. And then both knees into the chest, a little rock side to side. And giving those back muscles a release. Let me just see how we're doing for time here. We've almost hit 20 minutes. All right, let's let those arms go long to the side. And then we're just gonna let those legs drop and lift. And drop and lift. Good, keeping the shoulders down. So this rotation's coming down a little bit lower rather than our upper back. Good, a couple more. Just letting it go. Last time. And then come center. And we're just going to finish with our hips open. So bring the feet together, make sure the back is feeling straight. Make any adjustments so your spine's feeling long. And then just allow the hands to come up and fall naturally. And take some big breaths here. And relax. And be thankful that you gave your body this movement today. All right. If you want to stay in that position longer, feel free to stay there longer. But as for me, I am finished.